Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Livingston and this is AI Hope. My book, Now Is Gone, is about never-ending change. This podcast is about what comes after, the stories, the people, and the reason for hope. Hey everybody, today's episode is with Seth Goldstein, the host of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. He has his own incredible application that he's built with AI, and he's a social media OG. Enjoy. Seth is amazing, and I think you'll find it to be worth your time. Cheers.
I'm doing great, buddy. Good to see you again. We just saw each other, I think, last month in person.
100%.
Jeff does exist. Jeff is a real person.
Yes, and I gave
He's
you
not
my book.
AI.
I am not Max
Yes.
Headroom.
I have your book. You're not
It's
Max Headroom, exactly. I have his book.
You do, and you wrote a review really quickly, which is awesome. And
I read it in a day. It's a quick read.
It's awesome. I really appreciate you doing that. It's very kind. I feel like most people these days
Always, buddy.
don't read very much, right? And so I think it's a big deal when somebody reads a book. Thank you very much.
You're my buddy. Of course I'm going to read your book quickly and get a good review out there for people.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, but we're here to talk about you and your AI journey, because part of that book is about that embracing, going through that change that a lot of us have had to deal with, this algorithmic promise to redo all of our work. And with that in mind, I wanted to ask you, have you had a moment in time where you've really kind of had to say, wow, I better start using this, kind of that now is gone moment?
Oh yeah, the now is gone moment is that now is gone. No pun intended. The way we were doing it previously, like web design, newsletters, everything is different now. It doesn't mean you remove the human out of the loop. It just means that you adjust and you pivot. The moment for me was really, I think 2 years ago, or whenever ChatGPT 4 was out. And I was like, what is this? I kept on hearing about it. I've been listening to This Week in Tech and those podcasts. And Leo's like very big on it and all that stuff. And I'm digging into it and I'm like, I don't get this conversational talking to this thing to get an output. I dove in and I tried it and I said, let me try this. Let me try asking it for something that I don't think it can do. Holy crap, it did it.
It's
I was
pretty
like, whoa,
awesome.
that's a moment. That's a moment.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Now, it doesn't do things perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's obviously clearly flawed, and everybody's done a great job of talking about those flaws on LinkedIn. It seems like that's ground zero for complaining, right? But in reality,
Absolutely.
A lot of people have had some successes. I know you've had some successes. Is there a moment where you could say,
Yes.
hey, man, this has been incredibly powerful for me?
Oh,
Or a
absolutely.
use case? Yeah.
So I'm
Go.
very big on, exactly. I'm very big on the Fediverse, Mastodon and Blue Sky and all that. And one thing that was missing was a TweetDeck-like interface for it. So I was like, let me vibe code it. Let me see if I can do it. And sure enough, Fedideck came out, and it's really moving and shaking.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about that, because for those of us that are old school, when I say old school, you're probably not that old. If you're a millennial or a Gen Xer, you probably remember this. But when Twitter was really big, there was all these interfaces that would allow you to interface into Twitter, maybe Instagram. There were all of these others, secondary social networks like Pounce and all these other little crazy places.
Hootsuite, yeah.
Yeah, Hootsuite, right? It was like Hootsuite. And then Twitter basically killed TweetDeck, and there's been a sore need for this. So you're seeing some market adoption for that. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. And even if I didn't, I wanted it. And I don't really care if no one ever adopts it. I hope they do and they use it and they tell me what's wrong with it and how I can adjust things and fix things. But I use it every day. And it helps my use cases for using it. Helps me with my outreach on Blue Sky and Mastodon and all those Fediverse apps. It makes it usable for me. And if someone else gets value out of it, great. Yeah, I probably spent $500
Wow.
building this sucker out. Which, when you think about that, $500 in the scheme of developing a software, like old school,
nothing.
is nothing.
Nothing.
But spending on AI, that's a little bit of money. It was expensive for AI to build it out, but I was like, then you think about it, I got a basic use case in one shot. It was not good in one shot. Keep that in mind. I got it usable in one shot, very clunky, in about an hour.
What platform?
Now, he was using Lovable.
Yeah, I love Lovable. Love that. Love that.
Love Lovable, no pun intended. But
yes.
So using that, and I've probably put 200 hours into this app.
Wow.
I'll probably easily put 200 hours into this app because I'm constantly tweaking it and saying, hey, Lovable, this is not working the way it should. Can we move this? Can we adjust this? And what I'm realizing with AI is that it's like working with a junior developer. So when you type in the chat window, instead of just doing it yourself, you have to learn how to be a manager.
Yes.
So the manager set, I think, is where people need to focus on, is realizing that the AI is just the little rogue worker, hopefully not rogue, but the little worker be putting something together. But you have to be able to explain things coherently, otherwise it's going to go way off.
Yeah.
And waste tokens.
Very true. Very true. All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. I think there's an entrepreneur story in that as well, that you build things that you would want, and it's probably likely that other people will want it too. What's your hopeful vision for AI in the not too distant future? We have a lot of conjecture with these IPOs coming. There's all this agentic stuff with co-work, blah, 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 blah. What does it mean? What do you think as an entrepreneur and like a flagship carrier for entrepreneurs? What's your vision?
I think AI is going to help people, if they use it correctly, help people work faster, better, and more completely. You cannot remove the human out of the loop. And I don't think you ever will be able to remove the human out of the loop. You're going to have to adjust where the human sits in the loop. These one-shotters are not going to be a thing. You're not going to be like, I could never one-shot Fedideck.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no way in heck that could be one-shotted. Now, I one-shotted a piece of poop easily. Yeah, beginning part of it was great, but usability-wise, like I said, 200 hours into this project, and probably close to $500 in credits to Lovable. So it's the future, but it's working with it. It's another tool. People are like, oh my God, it's going to take over this, take over that. And I really think Anthropic has really kicked themselves in the backside here by saying that the end is near, where AI has taken over everything. Of course, then they get hit with something.
Yeah,
it's
so stupid.
It isn't near. It's another tool. People said this back when the internet first came about. This is just another rendition of the web. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think the problem I have with it is that it's so all-encompassing, the LLM technology in general, that inevitably going to have failures. It's the grocery store of AI, and literally, right, where it has way too much training knowledge to accomplish any individual little task. And as a result of that, you have something that's horrifically inefficient, not just from the energy and all the other perspectives, but with its answers. It's off all the time. It constantly doesn't really know what you're talking about because it's got too much information that it's working off of.
Apologizes.
It apologizes.
I'm so sorry.
It kisses your ass.
I told Claude to stop apologizing.
Yeah.
I said, if you have to say something, say sorry and get to work. Stop complaining. Like I would say to a junior employee, don't say sorry, just fix the damn problem.
And the other thing, too, is that it constantly forgets its path with you, and that's because they're resetting the model all the time because of degradation, right? It's such a challenge. So there's just no way.
But neither was the web.
Oh, no.
The web wasn't perfect.
It's great when you take away that panacea label that they put around it, right? When you look at it for what it is, fantastic, really powerful. But when you make it out to be this Swiss Army knife that solves all things, it does it all poorly in that context. Yeah.
Absolutely,
anyway,
buddy.
But that being said, I agree with you. I love it within the workflows, and it can be really powerful when you automate tasks. In fact, my podcasting time for editing is I've automated literally 3/4 of it. Just bam, gone. An hour and a half.
Absolutely. People ask me how long does it take me to edit Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast, and there's a plug right there. It literally takes
link
me
in
20
profile.
minutes. Exactly. There you go. Link in profile. But it literally is a 1-to-1, 1 minute to 1 minute. I literally have it down to a minute to minute.
Wow, that's incredible.
Minute of podcast to a minute of editing.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Anybody that's a podcaster knows that these things can be, or traditionally have been, very tedious to edit, and now it's become nothing.
But remember, I've also been doing this podcasting thing since 2010. I've been doing Entrepreneur's Enigma since 2021, so I have it down to a system as well. Not anyone's going to be able to take AI and just get it 1-to-1.
You have your
I have it
workflow.
down to a system.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why it's down 1-to-1. I have a workflow.
Exactly.
I've done this before. It's not like you're going to start a podcast and it's going to be 1-to-1. Now, you're going to start a podcast, it's going to be 1 minute to 300 minutes. Just figuring out the damn program.
Yes, you're an experienced producer. So, on that happy note, Seth, where can people find you?
Just go over to social. That's SethGoldstein.me. And it's all my links are there. You can just
There you go.
you can stalk me to high heaven there.
And
Social.SethGoldstein.me.
SethGoldstein.me. We will put that in the links, the show notes, as well as the Entrepreneur's Enigma as a standalone link. And with that, my friend, thank you so much for coming by AI Hope.
Thank you for having me.